Today we're going to take a look at how to utilize filters inside of your email client to perform certain actions like move something to your mailbox inbox or move it to a folder or delete it or something like that. So in the case that you want to use these, if you have email coming from a particular sender that you want to automatically trash, say it's an ex-boyfriend, ex-girlfriend, you can pop it right in the trash, don't even have to worry about it automatically. So instead of going right into your inbox, clicking the email, selecting trash, whenever that email is checked, what happens is whatever your rule states, it does it automatically. So without having to think about it, it automates that process. So you can have, say, a handful of emails coming from a particular vendor and send all of those emails to the trash or a particular type of folder or to your spam account, any number of things. You can also, in this particular client, we're looking at mail.com, but you can also do the same thing for Gmail, Hotmail. You're just going to find it in different locations. This one happens to be under the More Actions. What's pretty cool about this is you can whitelist and blacklist things. So if there's a particular domain that you just want to basically prevent them from sending you email, you can just blacklist it. So that's kind of a general purpose deal there. And filters, you can get a little bit more control over that. But that's a really nice feature to have right off the bat there, that you have those options in this particular section. But we're going to take a look at create new filter rule. And like I said, this is going to be very similar in any email client that you have. The first thing you want to do is give it a name. So I'll just do new rule number one. I already have one created there. And the first thing you want to set up is your conditions. So you want to say, all new emails I want to send to my trash. Well, that's not a very good idea, but you could do that. Okay. So you can also set it up. This is something a little bit more useful for you, is particular senders. So you can say particular sender is, which would be equal to, and then you could type in their email address. So, ask@yahoo.com. Oops, try to spell right. So that guy, that person, you want to go ahead and check mark it, verify it. And that just says if this sender is equal to, as this email address, means this person that's sending your email, you want to set up conditions. Okay? So I only have one condition, I mean I'm only looking at one email. So I'm going to come down here to the bottom and I'm going to say, I want to delete that permanently. Okay? So it says if I get an email from this guy, it's gone. It goes to my trash. All right? You can also say, well, let me do some more conditions. And let me say, well, you know what? I don't like this guy either. I want to say is, ask2@yahoo.com. Really hate him. Let me go ahead and check mark. Then that will verify that these two people will go to the trash. And you want to switch this to all conditions because now I've set up not one but two conditions. So it's all conditions apply. Or you can say one condition applies, one of these, then go ahead and send them to your trash. Now, where you can get a little bit more complex is say, well, obviously these two people, but let's say if, let's say email size is greater than, 50 megabytes, then clearly, we're going to want to delete that permanently. So you have a lot of different options when it comes to setting up the rules. It's really kind of an if-else statement set up. So if this condition is met, then you want to do something. So these set up your conditions up at the top, so you can decide what those conditions are. Say if the subject contains, hate, get some hate mail, you can apply that condition. And let's say, well, I'm going to delete this one. You really like that guy. Maybe he made up with you. You go ahead and say, all right, if it's from this person or has hate, all those conditions are met, then I want to delete it permanently. But if one of these conditions, he can have hate in there, they can have hate in there, but it can still be from him, then go ahead and delete permanently. So you can decide if everything has to be met up here or just one of these conditions has to apply. And then down here, obviously, you've got more tasks. So then you can basically do the same concept down here and say, well, I want to, copy to folder 2 so I have a record of it, or whatever it happens to be. Delete that. Now you click OK when you're done. And you basically want to save that. So you'd have another rule there. So I've got 2 rules, one I set up earlier. And this is the one that I just set up. So you've got it. And it tells you right down here what it is. So it's very nice. It's got sender is ask@yahoo.com. Subject contains hate. Then delete permanently. And 1 means only one of those conditions has to be met. So once those are satisfied, you click OK. And now, anytime that your email is checked, anytime you're checking your email here, you check email, and it finds something that matches that criteria, action's done. So it's great. If you've got people that you don't want to hear from at all, send it to trash, or that certain marketing material, you can send that directly to trash. Or if you've got, say, certain emails that you've set up coming from different types of people, that you want to start to create folders for yourself. Where it gets very useful is it automatically spits into that folder. So if you know that somebody, let's say you've got a couple of different clients or a couple of different emails coming from, say, clothing stores, and you've got some shoe stores and what have you, well, you can send all that to a shopping folder. So it happens out automatically. Clears your inbox, gets rid of it in your main inbox there, and then it kind of divvies it up so you can decide when to handle it. So using filters is actually a very incredibly useful tool. It's just going to be a little different in layout per program, but it all pretty much works the same.